Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for another episode of Transfer Talk, and boy, we've got plenty to talk about. But before I do that, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, give us a follow. If you watch on Twitter, the link to the stream is in the is in the tweet. Press that. Come join us on YouTube. Get involved in the chat because we love to hear from you guys. As we do it, it's sort of why we did it. I mean, that is one of the only reasons we do it. If not, I'll just read it all to myself and then. But what are we talking about today? Well, we've got plenty to talk about. Let's get started. Big update on Camavinga to Manchester United. A huge update. And we'll see how far this goes. There is interest from other clubs, but United look like they really want to get this deal done quick. We've also got a situation with Ben White. Chelsea are joining the race to sign them, with other clubs monitoring the situation. Arsenal are about to lose another player, aren't they? As simple as that, Arsenal are about to lose another player. We're also talking Renato Sanches. Will Renato Sanches end up at Anfield this summer? Plenty to talk about there. I know one of our subscribers really doesn't want Renato Sanches, but is that a good deal for Liverpool if that were to happen? We're also talking Nikola Milenkovic, who may end up at Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, Spurs fans, would you take Milenkovic at Tottenham Hotspur? I mean, he's better than Eric Dyer. I think I'd find that straight away. He's also 6'5". Manchester United have made a £50 million bid for Rafael Varane. That is according to some that as well. But yeah, let me. It will be a bit laggy for a second. There we go. Just need to get all my information. Some comments here. Chris is looking. I know who Chris is after. Definitely wants a bit of Renato Sanches at Anfield. Kenny laughing his head off. Love to see it. But let's just get straight into it. Let's talk Camavinga to Manchester United, shall we? Plenty to talk about there. This is from Jackie Henchman. Now, some of you may not know who Jackie Henchman is. He is someone who he's on Twitter. Go check him out. He got the Sancho stuff completely correct. He's got the Amad Diallo stuff correct. Dan James, Pogba, Martial, you name, he's actually got it right. So someone who you can very, very reliably. So we're gonna talk about what he has tweeted out and said. Chris saying, of course, now I got Sanches posters in my room. Yeah, I see that. The tweets from Jackie Henry did a thread. So he said, I've been told today that Camavinga is very much open to join Manchester United. We expect the deal to heat up towards the end of the window due to the competition of PSG and Real Madrid. But we will try to bid ahead of them soon to steal a march on them. We are not completely sure if Real Madrid or PSG's interest is really that deep. that they would abandon what they are currently doing in the transfer market to stop us from landing Camavinga. It's all very complicated and hard to explain, but I hope you guys understand. If that is true, then a quick deal could definitely be struck by Rennies. This is exactly why we will at least try to do something early on. I need to admit that I was very impressed with the strategy we've employed this transfer window. More to come. So I think that the key bits of this is, yes, Manchester United really do want Camavinga. They made that perfectly clear. But do PSG and Real Madrid want him more? There is obviously doubts about that. There's a lot about Camavinga. Everyone's saying, oh, he's a Paul Pogba. He's not a Paul Pogba. He's not a Paul Pogba. If you've watched Camavinga, you know he's not a Paul Pogba. Is he a DM? Potentially. He could definitely do the CM role. And guess what? It would definitely be better than Fedor McTominay. So, yes, I think Camavinga to United, I think it is a good signing. I think it would be amazing for them. The other question, and a very valid question, would Ollie start him? Would Ollie start Camavinga? And that's the burning bit inside people's head. Would Camavinga start? Because would Ollie, with pressure of this talent, 18-year-old talent who can do CDM and do it better than Fedor McTominay? I mean, would the pressure on Ollie be too much that it has to start him? Because we're not talking a lot of money, but we're talking about a special talent. A talent that a lot of people have said that he's the next best thing. He's going to be amazing and all of that. So there are plenty of components to this. Now, we obviously spoke about this in the transfer talk this afternoon. And look, I really do think that there's a lot behind this that United fans should get excited about. But this is the Glazers. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, Ole's got some backers and Ole's got some haters. The doubt that creates is would Camavinga start for Manchester United? And I think the simple answer to that is yes. I think he would have to. I think he would be forced to in some cases because he's better than Fred and McTominay and he can play that CDM role. Now, Veltran earlier said he's not a CDM, but he definitely could be. I mean, his best attribute is tackling. Believe it or not, the attribute you really, really need as a CDM is to be able to tackle. Now, the rest of it you can teach. Now, there is another question to this, is are the coaches of Manchester United good enough to teach Camavinga how to be a proper DM? That one, I can answer. I can answer, look, how many times have we seen United struggle from set pieces? The coaching there isn't good enough. Many people have moaned about the coaching that it's given to players, but there's one advantage, Michael Carrick. Now, Michael Carrick wasn't necessarily the greatest DM in the world. He is a very, very good central midfielder. So my thoughts are he could probably teach Camavinga a bit. But also, if you kept Matic, similar to what Cavani's doing with Greenwood, you could have Matic helping Camavinga and sort of, being that tutor, that mentor per se. Says a lot about this. United fans, if they can land Camavinga, if they can land Varane, and they've got Sancho, that's a very, very good window. Now, if they can top that up with a backup right back, then Jesus, they're on a roll. But it's looking likely that they're going to keep Diego Dalot. So really interesting in Camavinga there. Some comment. Marseille planning on selling collective car this summer, and Anderson going back to Lazio. Pogba, Pogvinga would work, is what Kenny said to the mice. Absolutely. I'm not interested. Sanches is rated and overhyped just because he had a shot on goal. Well done. What does he want? A medal? That's what you do as a footballer. Well, it's sort of his job. He is quite good, Chris. French league is a lollipop league, so easy. I would disagree. Yes, of course, it's an easier league. But you look at Sven Botman, very good up-and-coming young talent. Guess what? Under 21s is quite an easy league as well. most, in fact, all players come through that. Ollie would start him. He clearly really wants him with VDB. He wanted Grealish, but didn't get the player he wanted, which is why he got benched. No. Well, yes and no. Ollie apparently really likes McFred. He should be sacked for that on the spot, but we're all entitled to our opinions. Bring me Renato Sanches, maybe. A big up to Wolf. I'm just not convinced by Sanches. Don't disrespect French League. The best midfielders come from there. Last time we could win the league and the Champions League in years. Sancho, Varane, Camavinga, a window. Absolutely, what a window indeed. Can you get your arse here? Get the fuck off Twitch. Love it. Love the new graphics. Thank you. We're always looking at improving and making things just that little bit better for you. Big up to DC, yo, McFred, more like McFord. Any news on Grealish? Not yet. I haven't got any. I'll look some up for you tomorrow. DC, what's good? McFred is just two players occupying a one-man job. I've said that for ages. But yeah, let's move on to our next one. Let's move to our next one. And Jesus, Arsenal fans watching, go book a concert because you're going to damn well need it. Let's talk about Ben White, shall we? Ben White, oh geez, Arsenal. I don't want to banter you, Arsenal, but Jesus, you don't make it. You don't make it easy for me, do you? Chelsea, Ben White. Let me drink before I start this one, Jesus. Well, I'm going to need this. This turned to a bit of a banter show. Big up now. Gonna explode in the comments. I feel with Chris 100%. Chelsea have joined the race to sign highly rated centre-back Ben White from the Premier League club Brighton and Hove Albion. The 23-year-old impressive performances on the South Coast had attracted the interest of Arsenal, who were reportedly in advance talk with Brighton to sign the defender for a fee which could be up to 50 million. Football London understands that the deal is not yet done between the Gunners and known in bringing him to Stamford Bridge this summer. Oh no, 1 minute, I've jumped there. Meaning there is still time for us to enter the race, and up step Chelsea, who have reportedly contacted the player, made their interest known in bringing him to Stamford Bridge this summer. This is according to a reliable transfer at Duncan Castles, who gave his latest update on the situation involving a 23-year-old future in his most recent Transfer Window podcast. Castle said the Blues are set to provide a significant competition for the Gunners for signature. We told you there's been an interesting conversation with Manchester City. Castle said, I now understand that Chelsea have notified the player of their interest in signing him. I think significant competition for Arsenal because Chelsea obviously can offer Champions League football, can offer a club based in London in the same way Arsenal can, but one that should be immediately competitive for Premier League title, and one who hasn't had much hesitation about spending massively of Ben White's profile and age range. I think on previous podcasts we suggested one serious offers started to come in for White. It's likely other clubs will get involved in a competitive bidding process. And I think the competitive bidding process is obviously going to benefit Brighton. Oh, dear Arsenal. It gets to a point where you actually have to feel sorry for them a little bit. I mean, right. If you had a choice, I'm going to ask you a serious question. If you were Ben White, right, and if you were Chelsea, if you were Ben White and you had Chelsea or Arsenal trying to get you, which one do you go to? It's quite simple. You go to Chelsea. That club there, you don't want to touch with a barge pole. If it's a competition, that one you don't touch. That one you want to go to. And I just feel that with this one, I really do see that Chelsea might. If Chelsea don't get him, I can definitely see maybe Man City looking at him. Now, look, United are monitoring the situation. You would expect any top club to do. But they're obviously wanting Raphael Varane, and they're wanting Raphael Varane a lot. This is bad news for Arsenal. Really bad news, because they could have got Ben White. They really could have got Ben White. There's no doubt about that. Ben White is a really good defender with a lot of promise. But now the big clubs are coming in. Chelsea, Man City, even United are bigger than Arsenal. They always have, but you know what I mean. Arsenal at the moment, what can they offer him? We'll give you a jumped up salary and you can live in London. Cool. Well, Chelsea can offer me the same salary, a place in London, which is what you're offering me, but they're going to get Champions League football. They potentially could win the league. They're going to be competitive. Which club do you go to? One works for Mikel Arteta, the other one is Tuchel. I mean, any normal person would be picking Chelsea. And he wears blue kit at Brighton, so he clearly feel more at home when a blue kit. I'm joking that bit. That bit is a bit of a joke. But look, Arsenal are really in a dangerous situation right now. And they really need to sort themselves out. And I fear that Arsenal may lose another player that they really, really wanted. Now, that's not to say that I think that's exactly what they need. I don't think a centre-back should their biggest priority. You've got William Saliba could have done it, but he's going out on loan. I think clearly their issues are right back, central midfield, striker and a winger. That's 4 positions and a goalkeeper because you can't have Leno anymore. Really, really bad time to be an Arsenal fan. Not only have you not got European football this season, Jesus, every signing you get, someone keeps coming in from. Buendia went Villa. Brighton, well, Ben White looks like he could be going to Chelsea. It's a complete madness. Some comments here. Let's see if there's any good comments instead of people bantering each other. Ben White, Chelsea interest is PR, so Arsenal pay full 50 quicker. Maybe. Or maybe that Chelsea really do actually Ben White. Not going to lie, actually rate Ben White. I think a lot of people do. Ben White is a really good one. Chelsea in a heartbeat. Man City and United interested. 2 low. Arsenal done. Mustafa don't make Ben White. You can see that. It'd be quite funny if other club beat Arsenal to another player after Arsenal being in advance with the player. Yes, obviously advance talks means nothing. Has he signed on the bottom line? No. And he says Leno is leaving Tuno or Pamiang wants out and they want to sell Lacazette. Well, let me help you with that. Leno, I'd pay for a taxi. Aubameyang definitely gets out of the club, but he's on far too many wages offering you fuck all. Lacazette, I'll try and persuade him. Maybe he's a good backup to have. Good backup. But yeah, so it's an interesting one with good old Ben White, and we'll watch with interest as that story develops, and we'll see who he goes to. He could, you never know, he'll go to Arsenal. And pigs could fly. Let's talk Sanches. Let's talk Renato Sanches, Chris's favourite footballer of all time. Renato Sanches to LFC. There's interest from Liverpool. It's a deal Liverpool could do. However, there's been no contact yet. But according to a news article, Renato Sanches to Liverpool is almost a done deal as Jurgen Klopp closes in on a £30 million signing and comes to Liverpool prepared to sell the Portugal international after he helped them win the League One, Ligue 1, whilst almost impressing with his country in Euro 2020. Liverpool closing in on the £30 million signing Renato Sanches, with the deal almost done. It comes as the Reds eye a replacement for Jorginho Wijnaldum, who left for PSG earlier this summer. The Dutchman was a key cog in Klopp's machine, playing more minutes than anyone else in the squad except Robertson and Salah. But his departure has rumbled Liverpool, who are desperate to tussle for the Premier League title once again. However, that won't ever happen for at least, 28 years maybe? However, it appears they are ready to move for Sanches, with a deal set to be completed soon. It could cost Liverpool worth little as 30 million, with Lille happy to sell in order to bolster their funds. Portuguese-based journalist Pedro Almeida said Renato Sanches to Liverpool is almost done. The Portugal midfielder will sign for the English club for around €35 million, £30 million. Lille in Ligue 1, my title favourites. Yes, the French league, Kenny. Ligue 1 in the French league. Ligue 1. Mad, man. Forches, Jesus. Wolf is emotionless. Renato Sanches is great. I'd love him at United. Massively improves in Swansea. That is true. It's all good for him to link up with Hendo and others, and especially linking the passing with Renato and Virgil van Dijk next season, and it's great replacement for Gene. But is it? But it is what it is. Maybe something like that. I could definitely see Renato Sanches doing quite well at Liverpool. And to be honest, right, I'm going to say something. To be honest, how many times has Jurgen Klopp taken someone that not many people rated? I bet many of you didn't rate Andy Robertson, turned him into world beaters almost all the time. So it's not a madness. It's not a madness. Kenny says people near forget 20 was 3 years ago, and they were under one of the worst managers in the Premier League. It was a really tough time for Swansea. Didn't they get relegated that season? Madness. Big up to you now, by the way. Hope you are. How are you? I'm all good. Renato Sanches will flop at Liverpool. Honest Liverpool fan. Love to see it. Big up to Wolf. Thank you for your honesty, Thiago fan. What makes it good is that Renato Sanchez's agent is Jota's and Fabinho's agent as well. Well, that would really help the situation. But let's be real. That could definitely play a part. 100%. I see no reason why I couldn't. I really see no reason why I couldn't. Great. Jota is overrated. Jesus Christ. They got relegated after being 14 points clear of relegation that season. Southampton fought their way to survive Swansea. Swansea was shit that season towards the end of it. Really, really bad. But let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur, shall we? Let's talk about another London club, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. As you can see, is that in the way? I didn't realise it would be like that, but who really cares? According to Tutto Sport, Viola News and Football Italia, Fabio Patrici is interested in bringing Florentina and Nicola Milenkovic to Tottenham Hotspur. The Italian media have been going bold, linking Serie A stars with moves to Tottenham after they appointed ex-Juventus man Patrici as their managing director of football. Toto Sport noted Patrici wanted Dusan Vlahovic from Florentina, but he also fancies compatriot and teammate Milenkovic too. The report suggests that Patrici and Juventus are going ahead for a host of targets. Italian looking to pit his former club to new signings. One of them is Milenkovic, with Patrici well aware that he needs to bolster his defensive options for incoming boss Nuno. Milenkovic is one of the players wanted, but with making two, bringing him to Tottenham won't be easy, especially with the expensive double deal of Vlahovic. The 23-year-old, like Vlahovic, joined Fiorentina from Partizan and has committed more than 125 appearances for Fiorentina to his name and notched 28 caps for Serbia. Milenkovic is an enormous presence at 6 foot 5 inches tall and can be a physical overpower many attackers who come his way. He's also played right back, meaning he's far from just a clogger at the back. He's capable on the ball. And Nuno, Milenkovic could also play in the heart of defence or on the right side of the back three, depending on Nuno's approach. And Tottenham makes sense as next step for Milenkovic after 4 years at Fiorentina. I could definitely see that happening. Look, would it improve Tottenham? Of course it would. They have Eric Dyer, right? That's me ago. You send it back, and I improve it because guess what? You have Eric Dyer. But look, will this happen? It's far too soon to say. Really, is far too soon to say. We don't know what Nuno wants to do. Might want Connor Cody. You never know. You could see Connor Cody at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this summer. Wouldn't that be nice? Lanzi said he come to YouTube. Let's hope Sanchez is nonsense. Rumour reminds me of the chant This one's comments. Come on, Wilfred Bonny. Score some goals for Swansea. Milenkovic is a poor man's. Right. Nuno will transform Milenkovic. Good. I think he really does improve that back line as well. Really, really does. New 8 stars. Or we know one person who's going to really thrive, and that's Matt Doherty. Kenny says no. Twitch clear. Love it, love it. Kenny's avoiding the community like the plague. We love to see it. We love to see it. But last but not least, yes, let's talk about this man, Raphael Varane. Let's talk a bit about Raphael Varane, shall we? Manchester United have made a 50 million offer for Raphael Varane. That is going to Marsa. Obviously, Spanish thing. Not gonna lie now, when I sent you that, I thought it was Milenkovic Savic. Not quite. Shush says TTV. We'd love to see it. Tears in my eyes. He's just a shit. It's a Diop. Quadruple incoming. I am Dylan. We found Dylan. Look like Mark Goldbridge. The picture of. I'm guessing DT. I'm guessing that it's probably DT. Yep, YouTube is clear. Yeah, I quite YouTube. YouTube is definitely where our biggest community is. Raphael Varane is very close to Manchester United. United have offered him a 5-year contract worth 12 million euros per year. Real Madrid could accept 50 million euros plus add-ons. Varane is closer to leaving and staying at Real Madrid. That is according to Jorge Salabrias. I should learn these names before we go live. Manchester United are offering around 45 million euros for Varane, and Real Madrid are demanding 60. Player hasn't made a final decision yet. Well, there's only 15 million between the two, so getting that in between is not going to be very difficult. And United seem to be negotiating quite well. That is according to a master, obviously, the two figures. United offering around 45 mil. Real Madrid want 60. I'm sure we can get. We, not me. I have no say in this transfer, and I'm not negotiating. But I'm sure the two parties and the two clubs could come together and get that in the middle, right? I'm sure United could pay 50 million euros, right? I'm sure we're a couple of add-ons as well. Sort of just that. But I think that could work. Right, God knows what's going on Twitch. But yeah, I think it could definitely work. I see no reason why it couldn't. United seem to be negotiating quite well, which we love to see. Dylan says it's DT, yes. Kenny to Twitch, here we go. Personal times agreed. Transfer fee of €1 between YouTube and Twitch. Twitch has been looking for a British sim for a long time. Dylan asking how you change your Twitch name. Yeah, just basically I'm having a little chat, which we love to see. What I do now is I almost press leave studio then, which would be quite funny. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link into the chat for you lot to come on and have your say. Obviously, any of the things that we've spoken about, so Varane, Milenkovic, Renato, Sanches, Ben White, Camavinga. If you want to come on, talk about any of them, press the link, join us, and thank you, Kenny. Great man. Goldbridge on Twitch. What the fuck? Goldbridge, he does have a Twitch account, actually. Genuinely does. I think he plays FIFA on it or something. We'll also wait for people to arrive, though. If you're on Twitter, you'd have seen that we've put out a tweet asking you for your ideas, your thoughts, what we can do between the break from the Euros and the start of the what's it called? Full season. I'm half asleep by now. So yeah, we're asking for your ideas. So if there's anything you do want to CS2, whether that be tier list or whatever, let us know. We'll try and accommodate it, because at the end of the day, this was made by me and a few others and created you. But really, it's just a load of fans coming together to give. I'm like Kenny, and Aaron. We are sat in Doncaster Stadium, apparently, by the looks of it. Aaron.
I am currently sat in the Keepmoat Stadium, drinking the tears of Arsenal fans.
Love to see what. What have Doncaster done to Arsenal today?
We've only gone and picked up their assist king on loan.
Assist king? Fuck's their assist
Yeah.
king?
Apparently, Matt Smith is nicknamed the assist king.
I'm gonna ask one question, and please answer honestly. Has he ever played for Arsenal's first team?
He was on the bench for the FA Cup final last year.
On the bench.
I give up. I give up on Arsenal. They named him an assist king, but right.
I know that's not my
Jesus
nickname.
Christ.
That's Arsenal fans have called him the assist king, despite
You're not that stupid, because you know I'll probably just shout you down if you were to do something stupid.
Exactly.
He's got to at least play the first team. Like, come on. If he gets like 15, if he gets loads of assists for Donny, then yeah, sure. Not a chance.
But the positive is we've got more FA Cup winners than Tottenham. We've got more trophy winners than Tottenham now. So, because he picked up a winners' medal, so technically he's won more than Tottenham.
Wow. Moving on from that, Kenny, we'll start with you. Talk to me about Camavinga. Obviously, you spoke about Varane. Talk to me about Camavinga. What do you do? Wolf says yes, baby, hotter, and Daniel James. We love to see it. Kenny's not impressed by that. Says so yeah, Kenny, talk to me about Camavinga. Why are you shaking your head?
Oh, he said, "Hey, Kenny," then a bloody smirk face. It does not sit well with me.
Right, okay. But yeah, what do you want to talk about, bro? Well, Camavinga wise.
Camavinga, man. So the latest news is that, of course, I think is that we are the Fabrizio Romano. They are the club in the best position to buy Camavinga.
Yeah, yes, Kenny. We know what the latest news is. I just spent about 10 minutes describing it to them. What's your thoughts
on Camavinga?
Jesus Christ. Is this the first time you've ever been on, Kenny? Welcome to Let's Talk Premier League. Obviously, we have a new guy here who's never been on one of these shows before. Kenny, give me your thoughts about Camavinga to Manchester United.
I mean, of course, he's one of the best league youngsters. He is without a doubt. He's definitely works in a Pogba. I mean, that would work. That would work amazing. He can play DM. I know he can play DM from what I've seen of him.
Yeah.
He's more of he's a DM. He's a good DM, and he can also do like good balls. You know, like
Yeah.
You get what I mean, don't you? So he's a very
yes. He can pass the ball very well.
Yeah, and with him and then getting Rice next season, then that'll be our midfield sort for the next 10 years. He is an amazing player. I'm excited to have him coming to Manchester United.
Right.
Of course, it's not guaranteed, but I think he will come. So yeah, he is.
So what you just mentioned, Rice. If you get Camavinga, why are you getting Declan Rice next year? You're not playing with two DMs, are you?
Oh God, not Southgate.
I fucking hope not. That'll be a disaster.
No.
You got Pogba or Donny. What happens to them? Sorry, boys. Just got Declan Rice and Camavinga, two DMs. Please come on to the pitch. Ball sit there. Don't cause me any issues.
This is not great on Fred.
Hey, you're down my but it's also a downgrade because Pogba sat on the bench. You'll probably Donny in the face by now. Dazza says new name. We love to see it. Obviously, it's Goldbridge holding DET, which I actually find quite amusing. We love to see it. Wolf is emotionless. How close absolutely to his face? That is a very good question, DC. Very good question. Does he's actually in come on. Like it's not and more emotions. But
I don't know. Your audio literally didn't hear anything. Your audio just...
right, what do you want to talk about today?
Rafael Varane. I feel like that's an interesting situation.
Yes.
I think I'm sort of in the same position as I was. And to be fair, I was in the same position as I was a few weeks back about this transfer.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was thinking about this when I got the tickets for the Rossington match on Saturday today. I think Varane will be a fantastic player if he does sign. I think him and Maguire is going to put up a really nice partnership. My sort of thinking process in terms of looking on the negatives is...
You mean, FYI, Mr. Maguire, you mean sexy slabhead, right?
Yes.
Cool. We have to use the correct terminology for sexy slabhead.
Yeah, of course.
If he scores the winner on Sunday and wins us Euros, God knows what I'm going to have. But these pictures will be with slabhead. They'll be just slabhead all over. We'll literally overlays will just have slabhead's face in it. Everything will just have slabhead.
If Sterling and Maguire score goals in the final of the Euros, I'm going to end up having to come on here and taking back every single bit of criticism I've given them ever since I've started on.
Oh, absolutely, it's okay. It's okay, Aaron. I have a list.
Oh no! It's all coming back to haunt my arse.
Well, it's already haunting your ass because we wouldn't be in this situation without Sterling. So you know.
But no, I think in terms of the Varane, I was sort of in the same situation I was sort of when I got the tickets today for the Rossington match on Saturday. It's the negatives that I've got on this transfer is because obviously we're in an era where, and I think Terry was talking about it today on the terrace, Sky Sports and people like that, the mainstream media, don't educate us on how tough transfers are done. It's not just, there's your budget, go and spend 50 million. There's going to be installments, there's going to be add-ons, it's not going to be just turn up with 50 million in your bag on one day and that's it sorted. It's not done in one day. So I feel like the negatives could be how long the transfer's delayed, because obviously he's got a family, he's got a wife, he wants to spend time and cool down before the new season. Same with Camavinga. I know he didn't travel with France, but obviously he's got a life of his own, so he's going to have to, wind down after a long season and get ready for the new season, wherever that may be. I feel like transfer-wise, again, there's no such thing as net spend anymore, so I don't know why people on social media still cover net spend on it.
Can I just jump in just very, very quickly? I just want to jump in very, very quickly on the players. I hear what you're saying about they have family, and especially for them too, because they're going to have to move their families over to England or come up with an arrangement. Kids may be in school, blah, 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 blah. You are absolutely right. The mainstream media don't educate how difficult transfer. You only really need common sense to know how difficult it's going to be to price an asset off another club. I think everyone in their right mind should know how difficult that is. But in terms of negotiations, I think that's what the agent's there for. I don't think United are going to be negotiating directly with Rafael Varane. I think it goes through the agent, and I'm sure the agent has already spoken probably in depth with Camavinga and with Varane about what they want to do. So I'm sure that there's already that plan. I just want to jump in there. I don't go straight to Varane.
Like, people on Twitter still talk about net spend. There's no such thing as net spend anymore. It's literal, and financial fair play has gone out the window.
Yeah.
So, I feel like people need to be educated on transfers. Do I think Varane's going to happen? It's 50-50 at this stage because there's been no official bid. A few journalists like Fabrizio and the Norwegian guy Yercroft, I think his name is. They've been saying there's been no official bid But
well, according to Marsa, I'm guessing they're a Spanish outlet. They're saying a 50 million euro bid's gone in.
The funny thing is though, Niall, if you hear anything about Marca, like you just said there, or you hear about sports, these are Barcelona newspaper articles. These are Barcelona articles reporting on a Madrid player. If you can't figure out that's not reliable, then
do Barcelona and Real Madrid not have a good relationship?
not paper wise.
I'm joking.
Not paper wise.
They never had a good relationship in the first place, but you know.
But I mean, when you look at all those articles and those sources, when they say there's no bid in, but Varane is still keeping all those options open with United at the forefront. That is that is the main story from this. There's no bid yet, but I believe that maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks we could see that £50 million bid. But my message to United fans, including Kenny, is if Varane isn't accepted and he signs a new deal with Real Madrid, or someone comes in with a bigger offer and he goes to PSG or someone like that, don't be mad about it. Yeah. Don't be mad about it, because I still United.
He should be mad because United should be able to match any bid that comes in. They're the richest club in England, and they should. If they acted like a big club, they shouldn't get. If Varane wants to go to United, want Varane, and all is good, and United, from what I'm hearing, offering quite a good wage. I mean, 12 euros into a weekly wage, but you know she should be a bit upset.
Yeah, I get that. I get that 100%. But there's another reason on the flip side why they can't be upset and can't be angry about this if it doesn't happen. Because one, Varane might want to stay at Real Madrid. There's still reports going around from top sources that there is
230 a week.
The what?
It's 230 his weekly wage.
All right. Well, there's still reports going around that Varane still doesn't know where 100% his mind's going. It's still 50-50 whether it's Man United or Real Madrid. And you've got to remember, they don't want to go down that same situation where if a player isn't sure 100%, maybe it's 50-50 coming to United or not, but if it's not 100% or at least 90% sure, then they fall into that trap again. I mean, obviously this is not the greatest example in the world because it was under the previous transfer regime, but look at Angel Di Maria. I think that he originally didn't want to come to United, but they forced this move through. So I feel like if the player isn't 100% sure he wants to come to United, maybe it would have been the best deal in the long run if he didn't come in, if he wasn't 100% sure, because then you'll have maybe you're bringing a player that might end up being just as good as Varane, or is currently just as good as Varane, for a cheaper price, but also wasn't 100% committed to Manchester United.
I hear that. I think,
and the other side is
he's too, and that's completely. You mentioned. Bear in mind how difficult it is for the player. I mean, he's been at Real Madrid for such a long time that he's probably thinking, if you do the same routine every single day and every day it becomes tedious, boring, and you want to shoot someone, maybe not live, because we're not in America. But that whole insanity sort of thing, he may want a new deal. He may just be thinking about it. Yeah. If he signs for United, I firmly believe that Varane wants to go to United. Then that's how I would see it.
Yeah, and then secondly, the reason why there's an example to say it might not happen is Man United. At the meantime, where if it doesn't happen, Man United fans shouldn't be angry. Is they are looking at other targets. There is clear evidence they are looking at other targets as well as Varane. Correct. What I've seen immediately compared to previous seasons under the Glazers, Man United seem to have a better recruitment strategy. And the reason why they got a better recruitment strategy is because Murta and Fletcher aren't doing what they did aren't doing what the previous regime, the Woodwards, and that did last time. And that is, we focus on one player, we get maybe someone in just in the meantime that the manager doesn't want, but we think it'll sell names. The Glazers in the previous regime, like Woodward, etc., were thinking of names, they were thinking of merchandise. They weren't talking about it being the best footballing decisions. What I've seen so far from the links from United this transfer window under the Murta and Fletcher era of the recruitment drive is they are footballing reasons why they've signed them. Sancho obviously is a big name merchant. He'll sell merchandise. He'll give the Glazers money. But at the same time, it's footballing reasons why he's come to Manchester United, because he is like what LeBron James is to the NBA. He is like what and Dennis,
I do hear that. I do that. I'm jumping in straight away because we're never talking transfer talk ever again. Like never. Uttered on this show. Do you want to know how many times I nearly head-butted my head against United? Oh, Sancho this, and he did my fucking head. I also want to talk about Pau Torres. He's been the other one linked. Pau Torres is nothing more than a B-Tech Lindelof. He may be a bit quicker. He is absolutely abysmal. I could bully Pau Torres off the ball. In fact, I'm pretty sure Dan James could bully Pau Torres off the ball. That would be a concern.
He hasn't shown Pau Torres for me hasn't shown me during this Euro competition and during some games in the league season as well, because I've watched highlights of him in the previous season in La Liga. I've seen the highlights of him in both competitions for club and country. He's not shown me what he can do to that defence at Manchester United. Maguire and Torres will just feel like Maguire and Lindelof again. Maguire and Varane, or someone of Varane's quality, if you can't get Varane, that's maybe a little bit cheaper, maybe a little bit younger, but can grow into a Varane quality and could be just as good, if not just on that level. You mentioned better partnership than
you mentioned that. I obviously do a little bit of research, as you'd expect. And I've found one already. Sven Botman, young, you're getting for a reasonable price. Basically, then better than Delip is what some people are saying. But I echo a lot of what you've said.
With Botman, finally with Botman, it depends how much they're willing to sell for. If they're willing to sell at all, because if he doesn't want to sell,
20-30 is what I'm. It's 20 to 30 million. What I'm hearing.
Well, that's fair enough, and I think that that's
40 million euros.
Yeah, 40 million euros. So I think that's quite a steal for someone of Botman's quality. Again, the factors of this transfer come down to if the club wants to sell him in this window or wait till the next window. And also, you've got to think of it as, will Botman want to... Again, it's that thinking process. Does Varane want to go to United? Does Botman want to go to Manchester United? They might be 90% sure. They might be 70 or 80% sure. If they're not 100% sure, I believe this new recruitment drive might not want players that are only a certain...
no, I think 80% is definitely sure doing something. I'm doing it. But I want to go to Lewis. Lewis, what do you want to talk about, bro?
Let's talk about the Ben White situation.
Ben White, go for it, bro. Go for it.
For me personally, like you look at the clubs, you look at Arsenal, at Chelsea. As much as Arsenal advanced talks or whatever it is, it's being different every day now with him and Arsenal. It wouldn't shock me if a club does nick Ben White off him. It's happened before. Why can't it happen again? Because you look at the qualities between Chelsea and Arsenal, it's just two completely different. Because if Ben White says to Arsenal, what can you give me? Money. Football. Better kind of football. You go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
We can give you Europe, Champions League.
And more money.
Give you a title shot, potentially.
Bigger wage.
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger wage.
Yeah.
For me personally, if I was Ben White and I heard about this, I'd try and get this Chelsea move done if something comes in.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I hear that. I do. Look, I think we all know that if there's a flat choice between Chelsea and Arsenal, I think we all know where to go. No, I echo exactly what you said there. But we're joined by Tom. I do want to quiz you on some things. Camavinga, what stage are we at with Camavinga?
Right, just repeat that because you broke up for a second. Right there, and go on.
I said, what stage are we with Camavinga?
Right. Yeah. So we're basically with Camavinga, the similar situation with Varane, apart from the agents, basically the middleman, so to speak, should we say. Manchester United have offered Camavinga a 5-year contract worth in excess of over 150k a week, and they're hoping that will persuade him to get the player on side for possibly a move. And then a similar thing where the agents then gone to Rennes and said, Manchester United are knocking on the door. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not exactly going to extend the contract at Rennes. So where exactly are we gonna go with the move? And they want to see where sort of situation with Manchester United of, right, well, you've knocked on the agent's door. If you get the player on side, then we want 30 million euros, so 22 million pounds for one of the youngest French midfielders and probably one of the best young French midfielders that you can get right now. For 22 million pounds, it's not really a bad risk to take, even if it doesn't work off. You're not going to be breaking the bank, and you're still going to have other players who can play that position anyway. But the feeling with Manchester United is they want to get Camavinga over the line as soon as possible. It's come very far-fetched, based solely on the fact of not a lot of people have heard anything about it. It's come out of the blue. We're in this position probably this time last night, and nobody heard anything till midnight last night. So we wouldn't even be hearing about it now, this time last night, until it just blew up out of nowhere. Or Manchester United have spoken to Camavinga's agent. It's being discussed about possibly going, moving, switching around about that. But no, the situation is the agents have been contacted. They've offered a contract of 5 years, 150 grand a week. Manchester United want to try and convince the player first and foremost, and then they're going to jump straight toward Rennes and offer them £22 million because it's not really, they don't really want to negotiate it. They see it as a fair offer for his age and for the sort of player that they're going to sign.
No, I do hear that, and to a lot of what you say, I definitely agree with. Where no one, I'm you know me, I look at transfers every single day of the week. Something I've sort of into. I didn't think United were going for Camavinga. It certainly wasn't something I thought. Talk to me about Ben White though.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was going on with Ben White? I'm a confused lad now. What he was in advance talks with Arsenal, and big up to Wolf who says PAFC 100%.
No, the situation.
I don't know why Kenny is kissing the camera, but strange guy.
Anyway, the situation. The situation with Ben White is basically Arsenal. We said before about probably 2 weeks ago when we heard about the bids were going in, where they made 2 offers and it straight away got bounced back. It wasn't enough money and didn't really want to hold negotiations. It was basically just walk through the door. Here's so much money. Can we have Ben White and can we speak to him? And Arsenal have spoken to his agents. The talks over a contract have been quite positive. Nothing's been agreed, signed, sealed. Arsenal are wanting a 5-year contract. Ben White's representatives are looking more at a 3-year deal to possibly, if it doesn't work out, then they've got a bit of leeway to possibly move on somewhere else or another opportunity. But like we said before, when I look at a lot of deals with Ben White and stuff, you can, if you don't offer the money to Brighton aren't exactly in the position where they have to sell. Financially, they're stable. They've not made major losses. They've not made major gains. They're basically breaking even most of the time. So they're not really in a pattern towards selling. And if they can afford to bring in other clubs like Chelsea and stuff into a bit of a bidding war, then they're going to just increase the price even more, and they'll end up getting more money for the player. And Ben White will get a bigger and better contract, which will probably make him a lot happier.
Yeah, are we thinking this is something that has been intentionally put out there by Chelsea? Do Chelsea have any interest in Ben White, or are they just trying to piss a little bit.
No, they do have an interest in the player, but they're looking. If Chelsea are going to sign a centre back, they were looking more Europeanly. The likes of Varane was mentioned. That's gone cold turkey since Manchester United have opened talks with his agents, but they are still, getting updates and monitoring the situation there. If something opens up for them to try and go in there and get a deal of the century, should we say? But Ben White's an interesting one because of the fact of it's English, it's Brighton, it's kind of an easier deal to deal with Brighton than it is to deal with Real Madrid. No bare bones about it. And the only thing you can say with Ben White is the sort of money that he would be asking for isn't going to be out of reach for a club like Chelsea if they wanted to do the deal. But it's kind of, I think we'll understand the situation a lot more possibly after the Euros, maybe a week after the Euros.
Yeah.
His head will go either to Arsenal or it might stay at Brighton. Who knows? But the main situation at the moment is try and see who stumps up the most cash. That's the idea in Brighton's mind.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the most sensible idea that they've ever had. I quite like Brighton because they did a sort of when our goal was going through financial ruins. A lot of their we did like a fans reunited where a load of fans just came to Home Park, spent money and helped us out in that way. And Brighton fans were brilliant. They almost packed out the Demport end with us, which was beautiful. Arsenal stump up the cash, or me and you are going to be having words, and I'll start with Arteta because he is a forward. But Ethan says, sorry, I left. My Wi-Fi is like damn shit. Brutal. But we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who's been watching, who's come on. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notification on. Check out our Twitter, Let's Talk EPL. On TikTok and Let's Talk Premier League. We're back tomorrow with Transfer Talk at 3 p.m. And then the big one, Italy versus Spain, semi-final of Euros 2020. First of two. I don't know who's playing in the second one. I guess we'll find out, won't we? But before we go, Kenny, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sanches here at Let's Talk EPL, Kenny TV on YouTube, Kenny the United fan on Twitch, and winning the quadruple next season. Come on!
Jesus Christ. What a great time to turn up. 100% just as we're wrapping up. But watch back the stream. It was quite a good one. Some new graphics towards the start when it was just me. Aaron, apart from in Doncaster Stadium, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Aaron_Challoner. You can find me on Instagram at Aaron Challoner Official. You can find me on Snapchat, Coach_Chal19. You can find me on TikTok at Aaron Challoner. I've done some casting call auditions on that TikTok now, so if you want to go and check them out and show some support, it would really mean a lot to me personally because it's the career I want to get into. From a Football DRFC. On the road to 700 subs. We've signed Matt Smith. I'm releasing another video as well, so that should be up before midnight. And also, Costa Chow, 3,000 subs is the target, 1 million views is the target. Let's get there. And a massive trip to Alton Towers. Plenty more content still to come from that trip. And all good. Keep living the Coast life. Keep living the Rovers life. I'm going to sign off here and make sure I get out the stadium okay without being tackled by security like it will be tackled.
Have a good one, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Nah, no worries.
Brilliant. Lewis, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LewisPlayer160 and you can find me on YouTube at Perry Sports.
Perfect. And Tom, last but not least, where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TomJournalist1 on the handle that's just on the screen now and below my icon face for latest transfer news regarding players or whatnot. If you want to send me a DM or anything, if you want any updates on any players, then please feel free to do so.
100%. But we're going to wrap it up there because I'm trying to get out of there without being bundled down to security. FYI, I don't like roller coasters, so I wouldn't. The issue Aaron's got is he's got two channels. I don't like roller coasters because I went on one and I absolutely screamed my head off for the entire fucking thing. I'm not too keen on Doncaster Rovers either. So I've subscribed to them, but I very rarely watch it because I have zero interest in. this. Unless you signed one of our players, which I'll be hunting down if I like the player, that is. But I doubt it. I doubt it. But we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow we have another episode, Transfer PM. But until then, peace out and.